That is the brains for the electronic controlled diesel engine. Not all of the brains, but that's a lot of the electronic controls.
Okay. The analog, old analog, I guess, or something, and then a couple of big
circuit breakers.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at your transmission. Do you have a cable and a lever for the transmission?
Let me go down there just 1 second. I'll put that back on. So,
okay.
Yeah, right here, Chris.
Okay, a little bit to the right. Okay, so that's a standard push and pull cable system for the transmission. And follow that red, pardon me?
Well, this would be a sensor probably to determine whether it's in neutral, I bet, or something like that, right?
Right, that's called the start in neutral safety switch.
Okay, so follow the red cable?
Yes.
Well, it's hard to follow. It's just, oh, here it is. It's going up on top of the engine.
Okay.
Going up to the Mathers.
Okay, so the Mathers, that big black
red cable
box
on top of the engine.
That big black box on the wall is the Mathers controller.
Yeah.
Can you describe the shifters you have on the dashboard, the levers?
2 little black ones, side by side, little black handles.
Are they one per engine?
Correct.
Okay, so that's called fly-by-wire. So your engine controls have digital command all the way to that black box.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's just really simple little two little knobs.
Okay, so let me give you an idea. Inside that black box you have solenoids, but they're actually servos. Solenoids are on or off. Servos have incremental graduated controls like slow, medium, fast. Your transmissions are gear, neutral, reverse, neutral, forward, neutral, reverse, neutral. So follow the other cable to the engine, whichever engine is easier, the port or the starboard, and look at the governor or the injector control. That's it right there.
Throttle.
That's it. So
that could be popped. So right there could be popped off, and you work this, and it would work the throttle.
Correct. So at the very worst, and I'm talking about worst case scenario, but if you need to do a MacGyver routine,
you come down here, pop this off,
and you can use a tie wrap or something and put it at whatever speed you need.
Gotcha.
And do the same thing for the transmission and just put it in forward.
Oh, interesting. Exactly. Or literally have somebody down here controlling the...
Well,
okay, I gotcha.
No, not really. You're not going to drive it with somebody down there, but if you've got 20 or 30 miles to go home, and you're in the river system and there's no obstructions, well, you can get it close to home before you call Towboat US or Sea Tow.
Yeah. So where is my kill switch if I can't kill the engine? How do I kill the engine?
It's one of those blue circuit breakers on the box on the back.
Oh, on those boxes?
Correct.
Okay, it's not a mechanical lever. I've watched some videos, maybe even yours, where people do something like this, but you're saying mine's better. Mine's on one of those switches. Okay.
Well, gotcha. Yours is a newer design that does have some electrical components.
Yeah. This would be my oil dipstick.
Correct. And
that would be my new fresh oil.
Oil fill. Let's go back and look at the transmission. Can you read the brand on the plate? I'm going to guess it's twin disc.
Marine transmission, twin disc.
Okay. Pull out the dipstick. I need to show you something very important on the dipstick. Does it have any wording on it? Does it have a sentence like check in idle?
In neutral engine idling.
Very good. That's important to understand that.
In neutral engine idling.
Have you ever checked the automatic transmission fluid in your car?
Yes, but that's rare.
Well, the point is, it's got the same sentence. The engine has to be running to check the automatic transmission fluid in your car.
Okay.
Same here. You need to start the engine and check the transmission fluid second.
Okay, good. So my cat guy came and checked these engines, and he checked this when I was doing my survey.
Okay.
But I'll have to do it. I'll do it again. Okay.
Well,
Good.
you need to do, or we encourage you to check your fluids every day before starting.
Really?
Yes, in your car at your house, if it leaks fluid, it leaks onto the driveway, so you'll see it.
Yeah.
In your boat, you've got that raw water cooling system through the heat exchangers. We already pointed out the coolant antifreeze heat exchanger on the front of the engine, that big horizontal cylinder,
Yeah.
and then your expansion tank with the radiator cap. And we also pointed out the transmission cooler, which was on the back above the transmission. So if any one of these things has a pinhole leak,
Yeah.
there's a 50-50 chance that it will leak raw water into the engine crankcase, and that means the oil will look like chocolate milk. Or if it leaks oil into the transmission, because these transmissions, by the way, do not use transmission fluid. The twin discs generally use straight 30-weight motor oil.
Oh, interesting. Okay, it looked like that when I pulled the dipstick. It looked like
Yellow.
motor oil.
Yep. So if
Yeah.
it leaks water into that, it will look like caramel.
Yeah. Okay.
So the reason you want to check it is if you have a raw water heat exchanger cooling leak, it will leak water into whatever that heat exchanger is cooling.
Gotcha.
So
Can we talk about this guy?
yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
that's an expansion tank, just like the cover on top of the radiator on your car.
This is another expansion up here.
Well, I like to use the word overflow jug.
Okay, gotcha.
So look at the
Yeah.
expansion tank. You don't need to focus on it, but that little cap is spring loaded, and it might say 7 psi or 15 psi.
Which cap?
That
Here?
cap where your finger is. That's a common radiator cap.
Yeah, but if I open that, it's going to flow out because I've got this reservoir up here on the wall.
That's
So
higher.
I don't. Yeah. So I need to pinch this off, I guess, if I'm going to open this cap.
No.
No.
What happens is that spring loaded, so when the engine gets hot, the high pressure overcomes the 7 psi or the 15 psi, lifts up that spring loaded device, and it'll push fluid into the overflow device. And you can see that cap's been changed. What's that say, 13 or 15 psi?
It says 13.
Okay. So now when you stop the engine at night and the engine cools off, it will suck the fluid backwards back into the expansion tank from that overflow jug on the wall.
Gotcha. The pressure will push it in. Okay. So I'm a little concerned about the quality of what is in here and maybe testing it for winterization purposes.
Okay.
What would you suggest? Opening this up and sucking some of it out and replacing some of it, or what?
You can go to a Napa truck parts store
Yeah.
and you can buy what I would think of as a hydrometer,
Yes.
which will check the efficiency or the effectiveness of the antifreeze inside of your radiator. So they'll sell it
And
for trucks.
Would you sample it inside this cap, or would you sample it inside this reservoir?
I would do it inside the cap because that
Okay.
has recirculates where the stuff in the reservoir might stay in residence.
Yeah, gotcha.
Do you know
Okay.
what a hydrometer is?
No, but you just explained it, and I think I can talk to the auto parts people and get one.
It'll look like a turkey baster squeeze bulb. With
Oh, that has little bulbs in it that float at different levels.
Well, that's what you do to check acid in a battery, but this is the same idea, except there will be a little finger that will float or sink depending upon the quality of the antifreeze.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay.
Now go back to the left. I saw something on the wall that was interesting. Underneath the generator fuel filter. Is that oil X changer?
Yeah, oil changer X system.
Right?
Yep.
That's the way you change the oil in your engines. That's battery powered. And look at that weird black knob. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just pull it out. Pull the lever out away. Okay, so when you pull the lever out, you've taken the safety off of that little metal toggle switch. Okay.
Okay, so that means now it will move. I understand. Whereas before, this is a safety basically to keep it from moving. Okay.
Right, but you didn't put it to safety back correctly. That toggle switch goes in the hole on that black lever.
This thing goes in the hole, goes straight up.
Right.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Now,
Got it now.
Now look at the bottom. See those 3 arrows, or maybe 4 arrows?
Starboard engine right, port engine left, genset bottom.
There you go. That's a big money saver right there.
Okay, and this is my way to suck oil out and put new oil in, or just suck it out?
You can reverse the hoses and push it back if you want, but I prefer to put the oil in by hand, 1 gallon at a time.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought I had heard people say, is to suck it out and then put it back in more manually.
Right, well,
okay.
There's a thought, and different people have different opinions, but if you suck the oil out of 3 engines, there's old oil in those hoses.
Yeah.
And then if you reverse the system, then you might be contaminating the starboard engine with the port engine's oil. And if somebody were to do an oil analysis, if you're selling the boat, then you may have a false negative reading because you pushed old oil backwards.
Okay, so we got about 10 minutes here, and I want to cover anything else that you think in this engine room only you want to comment on with regard to winterization. Is there any little plugs that need to be pulled out? I mean, everybody's telling me it's the 3 Seacocks, and running a lot of antifreeze through these engines is really what I need to do.
Okay, now you're up there in Kentucky where it gets cold and you've got wind, so we want to think about wind chill, and you have an aluminum boat. So all of your water hoses from the drinking water tank all the way to the sinks and the showers probably run along the insides of the aluminum hull.
Yeah, you're right, and I'm gonna winterize those also.
Okay, but use a different kind of antifreeze. Use RV drinking water antifreeze.
Yeah, that's right.
It's non-toxic, and it's kind of pink, I think.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so you'll do your hoses for your potable water. Don't forget to purge the shower on the aft deck or the swim platform.
Yep, you're right. I do have that.
So wind chill is a big concern with that. So inside the engine room, I would...
see these vent covers? I got these little vent covers. Can you see?
Yep.
I got them covering the vents now, because those are just open air vents.
Correct. Now some people, well, you've got the vent covers, but other people will actually stuff big sponges in there or noodles from a swimming pool.
Yeah, interesting. What about this guy?
That's a battery charger. I don't know what batteries that's connected to, but you can see...
I think he's connected to this bank that does starboard and this bank that does port. And I'm not sure if he's connected to this generator battery.
Well, it's ideal to have the generator battery separate and isolated from the rest of the boat.
I think it's isolated based upon I've looked at these cables before.
Okay.
We got one little random cable coming in here, but we can look at that another day.
Okay, well, let's go back to that little muffler. See that little black pot? Looks like a 2-gallon pot.
Yeah.
Is there a drain plug on the bottom of that anywhere?
I'm not seeing it, Chris, unless this is it. Unless this is it right here.
Where? Put your finger on it.
But it doesn't look like it.
It may not be it. That's got water in it. That's called a water lift muffler. Look at the label.
Yeah.
See what the label says.
I can't read it, but you might be able to read it.
I can't read it either, but it might be a brand called C-Tech or Syntec. Yeah, Syntec. There's your brand's name and your model number. Look it up online and see how they recommend that you drain it, but that's full of water.
Might need to get the water out of that, huh?
And also look at your Caterpillars. They have the same thing.
My cats just go straight out.
Oh, they don't have a muffler on them at all. Okay.
Nope. See here?
Yep. Okay, so there's no problem with that then. That's good.
Now, wouldn't this, though, be full of antifreeze? If I pumped antifreeze generously through the radiator, this would just have antifreeze in it.
Yeah, but let's get the water out first, and then that way you don't waste the antifreeze by diluting it.
Gotcha. Okay, good.
Now, is that a strainer on the back wall? A little bit to the left of the gray box. Left of the gray box. Up, back to the right. Right there. What is it? Oh, that's
my Ray Marine. That's my Ray Marine, my old one. My steering indicator.
And there you. Okay, that's just welded. That's your rudder pieces.
Oh, big rudder system here.
Yeah. Well, from a distance, it looks like a sea strainer. Okay.
Do you like this kind of bilge pump? This kind of old school kind?
Well, they're old school and they're fantastic and they're expensive. It's called Parker and Richardson, P-A-R, and I think Jabsco bought them, and you can see that little bitty strainer right there in front of it.
Yeah, and I've cleaned it. I think it's a little bit of a fragile setup. The way this is so small, this filter is so small because it can fill. I guess I need to make sure my bilges are clean because it got full one day and my pump didn't work.
Right. Well, that's the current technology, so you can buy those. They're about $20 if you want to buy one or two.
Yeah.
Keep them as a spare. But before you buy it, make sure you get the right size hose barbs. I think they're coming.
Yes, exactly. I've looked at them on the internet.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
Yes, let's look down right there. See that vertical angle iron holding up the deck?
Yeah.
Look down where you see the hose from the generator. Down a little bit more and to the right. Are those rubbing on that sharp corner?
Yeah, there's a little bit of tension right here that probably shouldn't be there.
Okay, so
right there. That's a good observation. Can you see that now?
Oh, I can see the kink. Yes. So
I need to put something in between them.
Cheapest thing you can do is go look in the dumpster and see if somebody threw away an old hose.
Oh, and get an old hose and kind of fashion it around that corner.
Right, make it a chafe relief.
Gotcha. That's a good catch. I don't see that happening anywhere else, but that hose should have gone around this side.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, and then everything we talked about on the Caterpillars, you can also do on the Westerbeek. Will
Exactly.
will the front door open up easily where you check the oil?
Side door opens real easy. Front door here opens up pretty easy also. You're right. For some reason, yeah.
Where do you check the oil? Is it on the left hand?
I think it's on this side. I think the oil is on this side. Oddly enough, this little porthole does nothing.
Okay.
That little porthole is a porthole into nothing.
Well, they probably put it back together wrong. So look at the aft of the box. The rear part of the box. See that big screen? That's probably the ventilator for the electrical armature.
You're correct.
So look at the right-hand starboard side of the box. That panel might be on the wrong side. So you've got those screws. So if you undo those screws, I'm going to bet that your dipstick is forward to the right.
Yeah, you're thinking the dipstick is up here.
Yes.
And you're thinking these panels have been reversed. That's a good point. Let me check into that. I haven't really gotten into that generator much. I'm going to get into that later.
Okay.
But
well, let me know if they're reversed because I've never seen that before. But that's called an access port. So you can just stick your hand in there and check the oil, but if it goes nowhere, then the panels are on the wrong place.
It just goes, I've opened it. See, Chris, there's nothing there.
Well, that's the electrical armature. So there's nothing you can do. So open up the other panel at a later time and see if the panels are reversed.
Excellent. Perfect.
Now there's a little handle down there. What's that all about? Can you grab that handle?
Right here?
Yes.
That's just my door. That just holds the door. These are just to hold the door when I'm taking it off.
Okay. Well, the panels might be reversed.
Yeah. And here's a little circuit panel feeding each engine.
Right. Do you know what the yellow wires are?
No idea.
When you jump start your car, you've got a red cable and a black cable.
Yeah.
And you probably learned red is hot, black is not.
Yeah.
Or red is positive, black is negative.
Yes.
Well,
correct.
the new Marine Code by the American Bureau Yacht Council, ABYC, yellow is the new black.
Yellow is the new black. And this is low voltage, I assume, obviously.
Right. So yellow is the new black or yellow is the negative cable.
Okay. Good. Are you going to send me a video of this?
Yeah, I'll see. What I didn't record it on the computer. I recorded it on a camera I'm holding in my hand.
Oh, good. I appreciate it. Good. Okay, well.
How about if I post it online so that way you can look at it through YouTube?
That'd be fine. No problem.
Okay. What is that thing against the wall there? Is that an air compressor?
Yeah, that runs my horn, my air horn. That runs to a couple of other places in the boat. Also, I think the owner just liked to have air.
Well, that's a pretty serious compressor just for a horn.
Yeah, but that's all it's used for.
Okay. Well, that box in the middle, go back to the left. That box in the middle is your pressure switch. So there may be an adjustment in there so you can adjust the pressure up or down. And that will turn your pump on or off when it reaches a particular set point or a set pressure.
See it?
Yep.
It does. It automatically, and it's got oil in it somewhere, I think, too, right?
Correct.
Up here, maybe?
Well, that's a compressor. It's a piston compressor. And somewhere, is there a water trap in that system? When the compressor exits, is there a little water trap or a drain of some sort or a petcock?
Okay, this is the exit right here.
Okay.
Is it maybe right there?
No, it'll be about the size of that gray cap that we're looking at.
I don't know. This is like a standard Home Depot air compressor.
Right. Well, I was just curious that if there's a low part in the hose and if there's any water in it, it may freeze.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Well, this would be the low part of the hose right here.
okay.
It funnels around, but I can guarantee you that's probably never been dealt with in 26, 24 years.
Okay, well, that big cylinder that you're looking at looks like a 10-gallon tank.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where the water would trap. So look at either end if there's a petcock. Is that a drain?
It's a release.
Is it spring-loaded or just a bolt?
It's a bolt. It's kind of rusted bolt.
Okay. Oh, no, that's a petcock. So you can put your fingers on there. Now it's got pressure in it.
Should I release that a little bit?
Turn off the pump and then you can release that. And if it squirts out water, you're doing a good thing. If no water comes out, you can close it.
Good, because that could get condensation over the years, and this is the way I would turn my pump off, I assume, right here.
Or by the switch on the control panel somewhere upstairs.
Yeah, good point. Or right here, I can unplug it.
Okay, well, you can do that too.
And then here's my davit, which nobody ever uses because there's no dinghy.
Okay, well, there's no fluids in that. That's all mechanical.
Good, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Good overview today of Plucky Bomb 55, 1996 in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, you're advertising for me. Thank you.
Yep. If you're going to put this up, I want Plucky Bomb to get a little bit of shout out up here on the Ohio River in Louisville, Kentucky at Captain's Quarters Marina.
Okay, last thing we did not talk about, do you have an anchor washdown pump on the bow of the boat?
I do not. I wish I did, but I do not.
Well, since you do not have to winterize something that's not there.
No washdowns on the boat. There was a washdown, Chris, previously up on the upper bridge, but it has failed and been disconnected.
Okay.
But I'm just going to give you a better view.
Okay, I think you've got a good start, and everything that we've talked about is in generalization, but I urge you to talk to some of the other boat owners in the marina to see what their experiences are so that you don't get caught unaware.
Yeah, I'm going to be good. You've been very helpful, and there's a lot of professionals around here as well, and I'll schedule another meeting with you, Chris.
Okay, what's the temperature today?
We were 45 degrees when we started, but it's warmed up already. It's probably in the upper 40s here. My boat bilge was approximately 52 degrees, about 5 to 6, 7 degrees warmer than the air, and the water, I think, is about high 50s, like 50, high 50s, and the water the last few winters has only gotten down to like the mid 40s.
Okay, well, we're doing good there.